9,000, 14,000, 18,000, 22,301, 27,001, 27,701, 31,000, 45,000. You must be thinking I have gone mad. My wife will agree, but that's a debate for another day. Why am I using all these numbers? Hi, my name is Anshuman Tiwari, and in this video I will share with you what are the key quality management and related standards and how they differ. So the numbers I was sharing with you are the series numbers of all the major quality management and related standards. Earlier I have shared with you that the year 1987 was a seminal year in the world of quality. Amongst many other important things, the ISO 9001 series was launched in 1987. Why was it important? Because this was the first time a standard for the management system was released. All earlier standards were primarily for inspection, sampling and related At the core of all management system standards, there is a saying, do what you say and say what you do. Now, before you think that you can get away with saying anything and then doing it, that's not the case. These standards actually include the minimum standards that are required for organizational performance. So first up, ISO 9001. These are the foundational quality management system standards. Certification to these standards ensure that you have a quality management system in place. It is deployed consistently. You have practices to make sure that you will deliver quality products and services to your customers, and you will take care of the organization and its people in a systematic and consistent manner. This is the foundation standard for most other standards. The new ISO 9001 series is different from its previous versions in two very distinct ways. One is the continual improvement focus. So all systems and standards must be improved on a regular basis, and this standard requires the organization which is certified to continue to improve. The second difference is the focus on risk management. All organizations, in whatever they do, encounter some kind of risk, and they have to make their choices based on the risk that they perceive. Some risks are very high and therefore need mitigation plans in place. These two things make these new versions of ISO 9001 extremely robust. ISO 14001 is for establishment and deployment of effective environment management systems. How does your organization comply to what are the requirements of the environment around you? If you are in an industry which could cause pollution, like maybe textile or rubber or other similar manufacturing industries, you might be required by many organizations to be ISO 14001 certified. There will be, of course, industry regulations for effluent treatment, for how you can treat and discharge the pollution that you create as an organization. The standard does not include all these specific standards by industry. What it does say, however, is that you follow these standards prescribed by extremely important standard, considering that we are harming our environment on a regular basis. Next up is ISO 20001, which is about effective service management. This one is more applicable to IT services, where services are provided and the continuity of those services are extremely important. So assume that your organization provides services to a large network of airline or those networks have to be kept all the time up, and any incident could cause disruption in services. So to be able to keep these services up all the time, there will be a service management infrastructure in place. And this standard, ISO 20001, helps an organization which is in this business to make sure that they can assure their customers that we will comply to all requirements, and if anything goes wrong, we also have the mechanisms to address and repair the situation. Next up is extremely important, ISO 22301. This is for business continuity practices. If anything, the last 2-3 years during the pandemic have shown us the importance of business continuity. Many businesses were disrupted in how they were providing services. They had to resort to delivering services from other locations and so on. If your primary location goes down for some reason, will you be able to continue to service your customer. What are the protocols of informing your customer? How will you escalate the matter? How will you manage the matter? Do you have plans to address these situations? Are you testing those plans on a regular basis, and so on? All that is included in ISO 22301, which is the standard for business continuity. Next one is ISO 27001, which is for information security. Now, over the last few years, the need for information security, particularly in outsourced environments, is extremely high. The implementation of this standard helps an organization in making sure that information security related aspects and the assets that it has are protected, best practices are deployed, they are reviewed on a regular basis. If the organization has a lot of computers, then the safety and security of those computers, the access to those computers, and so on, all of that is governed by ISO 27001. Next up is ISO 27701. This is for data privacy of employees as well as primarily the customer data that we have. So organizations over the last several years have outsourced quite heavily. Now this means that the data that belongs to the organization and its customers is residing with somebody else, and therefore data privacy becomes extremely important to ensure that the data which is belonging to the customers of companies is protected and is not misused in any way. So this standard emphasizes the importance of personal data management and how to safeguard. Next up is ISO 31000, which is for enterprise risk management. This is not a certifiable standard yet, but we are expecting that in some time there will be organizations which will certify to ISO 31000. Next up in the series is ISO 45000 for occupational health and safety. This has replaced an earlier standard which used to be ISO 18000. So the new standard is actually more outward looking and also embraces the relationship of an organization with an external environment and not just what it should do internally, because occupational health and safety is not just about how you treat your employees, but also in what context and what environment you operate. Now, some common things across these standards. All of these standards have a common structure of publication. So if you deploy one, it's easier to understand and deploy the others. 2. All of them use the PDCA method, which is plan, do, check and act. So you have to plan something, you have to perform that action, then you check the variance between the plan and performance, and then you act on the difference. You repair the gap, which basically means that you keep improving all the time. The third aspect is, of course, that there is a marketing aspect to all of these standards as well. All organizations that achieve certification to these standards stand a better chance in the market. For this reason alone, many organizations actually embark on this journey, but very quickly they realize that this is actually good for them as well. So it is like somebody encourages you to getting fitter, but very quickly you realize that it's not for that somebody else, it is for your own benefit. So the same applies to ISO 9000 and related standards. This was a primer on all ISO 9000 and related standards. And this is World Quality Month. I am sharing with you insights from the world of quality throughout this month. If you don't yet follow me for more such inputs. Keep watching. Stay tuned.